to begin with, oh my god, it's not sitting right. I've got microblading on my eyebrows and I have got eyelash extensions on. And also I had a facial about 2 weeks ago, which I think has improved my complexion. I'm generally pretty lucky with my skin, but I do think that my skin is particularly good at the moment, so to begin with. Here is my makeup bag. Oh my god, I've gone slightly bloodshot in one eye. I have no idea why that is. I've got a sample of Charlotte Tilbury's Magic Cream. I get bundles of samples every time I pick up a product, which is quite a lot because I need it for my kit. There we go, so I've got my sachet of Charlotte Tilbury's Magic Cream, which I'm going to start off with. I will not use this whole sachet because I find it is pretty rich and I don't want the makeup to slide off my skin, so I'll probably use about that much and just pat it in. I pay special attention to my forehead and around my eyes because they are the areas that get the most dehydrated, and I kind of go right outwards, out towards my ears and down the neck. Then I need a lip balm because I'm going to be using a matte lip later. I use this from New Skin, which is really plumping and I love it. I am going to start off with eyes. It is generally what I prefer to do. Again, apologies, I don't know why I'm so bloodshot. I'm going to use my trusty Huda Beauty palette. What I love about this palette is that it's like 3 different color palettes in one. These 6 here are like a palette in themselves. So you've got this one can go all over your lid, this one can go in your crease, this one can be your transition color, and then this one can be your shadow color, and then these 2 are like your pop shades. And just look at those 6 shades in isolation. They go beautifully as a look as well. This would be quite an intense look now, but that could probably go all over your lid. Obviously I wouldn't highlight right up the brow bone. Then that could be like your transition color, that could be your smoke shade, and then that could be your pop color. So, or you could use any one of those 3 and I think they'd all look really pretty together. Same with the 6 in the middle, so good work, Huda. So let's get it done. I'm going to start off with my crown brush, which is the C441 Pro Blending Crease. So, going in with Bay, all over the lid. And then I'm going to go in with the shade Henna, using my, where is my MAC brush? Yeah, with my MAC 224, going in with the shade Henna. Where are you? There. No, going in with Sandalwood, so I've got the wrong brush. With my Clarins CC3 Pro, going in with the shade Sandalwood. And almost kind of wing it off at the end. What I like to do because I think that suits my eye shape best. I am so pissed off that I've gotten this bloodshot eye. Seriously. What the actual hell? It was fine about 10 minutes ago. Let it go, let it go. Okay, I will let it go. I will let it go. Now I'm going in with Henna, which is my darker shade. You don't want to be too flash for a Tuesday. Do it in that sort of feline shape. So going. And I will go under the eye with Sandalwood just because Kim Kardashian and Mario always swear by this kind of smoky, almost like a bronzy look under the eye, just to give it a little bit of extra definition. So I like to put quite a soft shade below, but just enough to give it just a little bit extra. So yeah, gives it a little bit more anchoring. I probably will touch this up again once I have done the rest of my face. So by now, the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream should have really settled into my skin. I definitely don't like to do my foundation and then put on I definitely don't like to do my foundation straight after I put on Magic Cream. I just think Magic Cream kind of needs a little bit of time to set if it's going to prime your skin. I've seen Charlotte in videos doing it where she's put foundation on straight away, but I think it's because she's using Light Wonder, which is, you know, her glowy foundation, and that's kind of what it's meant to do, so it just adds that extra dewiness. But in my case, I want my makeup to last, but I still want my skin to be hydrated, so that is where I'm like, Magic Cream, time to settle. So next up is Naked Skin One and Done. And I tend to put this on with an old school MAC foundation brush. I don't even know the number it's ripped off. I've had this so long. Pat it on in the areas that I feel need the most coverage, down the bridge of my nose, a little bit up on my forehead. I don't actually like to wear a lot of foundation or anything like that on my forehead. I just find, because my forehead is so dry, and that's where most of my fine lines are, it's just, that's where it settles in, and it just makes me look so much older. I am going to go in with a bit more concealer though, obviously, but you can still see my skin, and that's what I like. So the next thing that's coming out of my bag is Instant Light Concealer from Clarins. I tend to just spot this on the areas where I feel I need a little bit extra. The size of the nose. This isn't for me to hide imperfections, this is just to create some light on the face. For my concealer, I use this brush, which is by Crown Brushes, and it's their pointed blender brush. So I like to kind of dab the eye area, and just bring that out, just to create that light, and kind of go in the inner corner up here, so you can achieve more light. Where there are imperfections, I would just use something a little bit more heavy duty, like the Makeup Revolution concealer, which is really good if you've got a spot, or if you've got any blemishes in particular you want to hide, any more sort of like heavy duty redness. I find that concealer is brilliant for that. I have this for my contour, which I quite like, which is the Rimmel Insta Duo contour stick. Don't know if anyone's used it. It's really handy for traveling, so this stubby end is kind of what I use for my contour. So for contouring my nose, I already think the bridge of my nose is slim enough, but I like to make the tip look a little bit more lifted. So I tend to go around like that, put a little bit of dark on the corners, a little bit down here to give the illusion that my bottom lip is bigger than it is, and then bring a little bit like that. And then I like to put a little bit of dark here and a little bit of dark there. I don't like to do too much contouring on my forehead. I don't feel like it's that big. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure if you want to be mean, you can tell me I got a big forehead. It's fine. I can take it. I'm a big girl. I need to wet my beauty blender and just sort of go around that area. So you've got it pressed in. Just move down to your cheekbones. My nose looks hilarious. And then, so I kind of feel like that's what you need. I did tell you I was going to do a liquid line, didn't I? I decided not to. So I just don't think I need it. The other side of this duo stick is a highlight, which I tend to use for a couple of spot checks around my face. So I tend to kind of push it right out like that, and then I roll it down the bridge of my nose here, pop a little bit on literally up here, because I do want to make the tip of my nose look lifted, so I don't put it like right here or I look like a reindeer. And then I like to pop a little bit up here. I quite like the look it gives. And then I will probably just blend that with my baby finger. And then I like to get into the inner corner of the eye with it. And it's just a really quick way of just like brightening and lightening up that area. Sort of the other side of your lip as well. And then a little dot here. And that's your lot. And baby finger for a little bit of blending, so I kind of blend that upwards. I don't use this one on my cheekbones. Got more of that coming later. You're probably all really freaked out because I haven't done my brows. I like to do my brows when I've done my eye makeup and when I've done my foundation and when I've done the rest of my face. I just prefer to do it that way, because then I can go, do I want a really arched brow? Do I want like a Hollywood brow? Do I want a super natural, fluffy looking brow? I decide that at the end. Because my skin is so dry, I don't tend to powder that often, but in this instance, I will literally just powder my under eyes and probably under here, just to give the cheekbones a little bit more definition. The powder I'm going to use is very well used Bourjois Healthy Balance. in the shade 52 Vanilla. This is really, really good value for what it is. I only take a little bit and I kind of like hold my brush like that and I pop it on under the eye and down the side of the nose, the very, very side. I might mat down a little bit just above my brow area, even though, like I said, I do have a very dry forehead. I'm just doing this to kind of blur imperfections really. And then just maybe a little on my chin and just go out that way. So yeah, that's literally all the powder in the world that I would use. So I've already kind of done the contour, but I like to give it a small bit extra. And I do that using the Harmony powder from MAC, which is actually a blush. It's a blush, but I use it for contour and I've used it for contour for years. The brush I use for my contour is really old school. It's a Editon Tools 942 brush, and Michael Ashton, who is Adele's makeup artist, always uses this shaped brush. So if you want to slag me off, say it to Michael Ashton, because that man knows his shit. Go back over my cheekbones. You know, Charlotte, follow the hollow. So I'm kind of just go in there and just shape it sort of upwards, just to create that lifted effect, because that's basically what you're going to need. But I want to keep this look natural. I don't want it to look like I'm a Kardashian at all. That's not my plan. Then I will put usually a little bit just on the tip, like literally the smallest bit, just to highlight what was there, what was done with the cream already. Oh my god, look how red my neck is. This is because of the light. Oh, Jesus. I tell you, lads, the heat. Contour off this double chin, just a little bit. And a little bit more for the other side. And this is just to create the illusion that I have a very toned face, which I don't. Just to make you all happy, I'm going to do my brows. My brow pen of choice currently is Brow Lift by Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Brooke S. Yeah. So what I like about this is the shape of this little definer. So I tend to go just slightly under my brow's natural shape already, and then I kind of cut here and then out. So in my case, I want to go a little bit thicker than what I have naturally. You don't want to get this line too harsh, or else it will just look really unnatural and horrible. And then I tend to go quite softly out towards the edge. Then I go a little bit harsher again when I'm trying to find my high point, and I just kind of tend to put quite a bit of colour in there and then bring it out towards the edge. When I feel like I've gotten that, that's when I start kind of flicking it upwards in this sort of motion. So you can see that now. You can see that there. You can see that there. The shape of the brow does appear to be more lifted, but also a little bit bigger than this side. So that's what we're aiming for. My eyebrows are definitely maybe just mates, not even sisters. Mates that maybe hang out every few weeks. Definitely not every week. They definitely disagree on a few things. But I am obsessed with brows. Like, a good brow just changes your whole face. So yeah, there you go. There's another little spoolie on this end, which I will go through again just to make sure that we are all good. I will finish it off with the Supermodel brows. Oh no, it's not. It's Legendary brows, and in the shade Supermodel, which I think is the mid kind of brown shade. And again, this is a super fine little brush, so I go really softly with it because it picks up every little hair and it just makes your brow look extra fluffy, which I love. You young girls watching out there, if there are any of you who are 14 and thinking about fucking your eyebrows, look at Kayla Gerber. Look at Kendall Jenner. They are the babes of now. Do not do it. Just don't do it. Just leave them. Look, be a French girl. Be a French girl.